Hello, welcome to the weather update on this frigid night as we deal with the blast from Greenland. And it is the 3rd of February, and it is about 9:53. And that's the first thing we're going to talk about, obviously, is this dangerous cold weather. So this is the overview again that we have. Wind chill advisories posted for eastern Suffolk County. However, let me tell you, wherever you are, that wind is just unbelievable today. That's what's making it feel so really, combine the wind with temperatures in the teens now, and really, just really cold temperatures. And we're going to get lows into single digits now. And I don't know if you can hear, but there is a fire alarm going off in the distance. So hopefully there isn't a fire on a frigid night like tonight. But yeah, it's pretty rough out there right now. Looking at the satellite, you can see we had a mix of sun and clouds, except partly sunny today. Sun and clouds. Sun was in and out of the clouds. And we had a lot of that virga in the sky. You can see all the, again, lake effect there. So we're getting left over from the lake effect. Northwest wind, you can see the wind tracing out very nicely on here. But we'll show you what the skies look like today because I was actually, I could stand about 45 minutes. We actually did spend a little time. I did actually spend a little time in the Pines, and I have a short video of my visit to the Pines in Deer Park for just a little bit because I didn't want to do anything that would take me too far away from, into anywhere warm. And you can see some of these virga clouds that we had, very pretty virga clouds in the sky. I was also at Babylon as well. So I'll have a short video of that for you later. But let's take a look and see what's going on out there right now. So there's the wind chill advisory off to the north. But let me tell you, I really think we should have the wind chill advisory too. And then as you go further north into New England, including Boston, wind chill warnings posted. And you got freezing spray heavy freezing spray warnings, winter weather advisories, and blizzard warnings and wind chill warnings for this extreme northeast corner of Maine. So let's take a look and see what we got as far as our current temperatures go. And you can see temperatures have dropped quite a ways. We're at 10 degrees now at Islip, so about ready to get into the single digits right now. Dew point -11. So yeah, it's very cold air came all the way from the Arctic. So I'll show you how we started off today. There's no sense showing you the highs because the highs we had were around midnight when we were at 34 degrees. Temperatures started dropping. Arctic front came through. You can see when the Arctic front came through in the morning between 5 and 6 o'clock, and the wind shifted to the northwest. And look at that. Temperatures dropped, and the dew points dropped. And you can see those pretty gusty northwest winds. That's why I'm looking at this. We had a wind gust of 44. It looks like 44 miles an hour being recorded in the morning. And you can see winds regularly gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour throughout the day, and that makes for a very brutal wind chill temperature. And these are the wind chill numbers right here, I believe. These numbers right here, all below zero. So that's what it feels like. Imagine 12 degrees with a west-northwest wind at 31, gusting to 41. That makes it feel like 10 below. And you can see that. So you can see right now overcast conditions being reported at Islip, and just really very, very cold conditions out there across the area tonight. East End also 10 degrees. So we got 10, 12 in Nassau County. The Park is probably around 12 degrees as well. Central Park around 12 degrees as well. So you can see those winds gusting quite badly. The red numbers are the wind gusts. A little warmer in Jersey, actually, quite a bit warm. This cold air mass is actually going more over New England, so I think there's going to be, you can see there's quite a difference between Long Island and New Jersey. So while it's 17 degrees in the upper teens in Ocean County and much of the Jersey Shore area, and even 20 at Wildwood, which is not really that warm at all, but compared to Long Island, where we're around 10 degrees, you can see that the colder air is being centered around New England. And when you look at this map, you'll see as we go north and east, particularly northeastward, you'll see Boston is already below zero. What are they at, 9 below? They're at 2 below right now. So Boston is below zero, the city of Boston. So they're below zero. And look at some of these conditions on the Cape. How do you like to be at Provincetown right now? 3 degrees. Northwest wind to 28, gusting to 35. The wind chill is -21. So if you're on Cape Cod right now, it'd feel like 21 below zero, and they're reporting light snow. So yeah, that is unbelievable. So you can see this is some pretty, very, very cold air, but more centered over New England than our area, though we're getting a taste of it. And look at Mount Washington. This is Mount Washington. 45 below. The dew point 45 below. West-northwest wind at 96 gusting to 110. Feels like over 100 below at Mount Washington right now. So how about that? That's unbelievable right there. So that's a place you really don't want to be right now tonight. And then as we go further north and east, you see here, we got 20 below, 22 below, and you have 20 plus below in Maine. So this is some pretty cold air that we're dealing with here. And again, this is right from Greenland. That's why I call it the Greenland Express. And if you're in, let's see if we can find Plattsburgh here. I think this is Plattsburgh. 15 below at Plattsburgh. Northwest wind at 14, gusting to 23. Feels like 38 below. All right. And if you were at, let's see, Albany. Find Albany over here. Albany is probably, let's see if we can find Albany. Albany is probably, let's see, it's Glens Falls. Let's see if we can find Albany here. There's Albany. I see it. I don't see a number over it. Come on. All right. Albany, 7 below. Look at how dry that air is. 24 below. Northwest wind at 21, gusting to 29. Yep. Incredible. Feels like 32 below. So you can see the worst of it isn't even hitting us. It's a glancing blow, and you can see the wind direction more from the northwest to almost west-northwest keeps the worst of the cold away from us. However, Long Island being close to New England is getting into some of it. And again, if you were, let's say, look at this here, 10 degrees at East Hampton, west-northwest wind at 20, gusting to 40. The wind chill is -9. That's just incredible. That's a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust and 10 degrees is just a really bad combination. That's all. And you can see the further east you go, the colder it gets. Block Island, 5 degrees. Northwest wind at 21, gusting to 30. Feels like 16 below. All right. So, yeah, that's how it is. And if you're across the water in Connecticut, you see they're already in the single digits. So it's going to be a really blustery, cold night. That's what makes it feel uncomfortable out there. Looking at what's going on as far as snow goes, see a little bit of lake effect here and a little bit of, looks like ocean effect here on the Cape. And that's something you'll get on the Cape is that because the Cape is kind of sticks way out there. So you get some ocean effect snows there. And some little bit of a remnant. I'm surprised we're not seeing any Long Island sound effect. We may see some of that tonight. We'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah, really brutally cold conditions tonight. Let's look at power outages. I should have brought this up, but we do have some power outages to deal with as well. Actually, quite a few. Well, I mean, it's 3,268 customers without power tonight. That's a lot of customers without power and no heat on a night like tonight with that wind blowing. And you can see that most of them are on the North Shore. The usual areas is Huntington again, of course. And let's see, we got one around Huntington Station. So this wind is causing damage. You got to remember it's cold. Of course, look at the South Shore. It's hardly any power outages on the South Shore. It's unbelievable. The South Shore gets away again. I mean, they avoid everything. I don't talk about this anymore, but it was, I didn't see any homeless when I was on the South Shore. Waiting rooms are open. But anyway, when I come back up to Mineola, I saw, and I had to actually report it because if anyone's homeless in this weather, they're going to die out there tonight, all right? And that's serious. And most people just ignore it. You cannot be out in this weather. It's really, really wicked out there. And it looks like there is a power outage on Fire Island as well. Ridge has a few power outages. There was one in Quorum a while ago, earlier this evening. So mainly the North Shore and the middle of the island, and a few on the South Shore, but not as many as in the middle of the island. But again, when you're getting wind gusts 40 to 50 miles an hour in this cold air, and also the big drop in temperatures actually can help cause the wires to become very brittle and snap as well. And that's what we're seeing. If we go to poweroutage.us, which we'll go to now, obviously the South still dealing with all those power outages from that ice storm. You can see New York is now in the yellow. We also have power outages upstate as well from the winds. And it looks like Maine as well, and Massachusetts. Connecticut also seeing power outages, probably from the strong winds coupled with these dropping temperatures causing that. And I would urge people Don't do laundry tonight, all right? Just because the grid is being strained by all this extreme cold, don't do anything you don't need to do, like laundry, because that consumes a lot of power. Maine has 10,000 people without power. It looks like Hancock County. And this is not the kind of weather you want to be without power. I'll tell you that. It will get cold fast when your power goes out in this weather. Yeah, that's still a concern, is power outages. Oh, I wanted to go back to that map for a minute. I want to look at New Jersey. Well, we can look at Jersey Central Power and Light and see how many people they have without power. Only 404, so they're doing a lot better. JCP&L hardly has any outages at all, probably because there's less wind in that area. The winds over Jersey are less. Again, they're not getting into the real. Jersey's really missing out on even they're getting like the outer fringes of this outbreak. And, we're getting like the fringe or the edge of it. They're on the outer edge of it. We're like a little more toward the inner edge, but still, it's unbelievably cold out there. So let's go now. Take a look at what we have to come here. Obviously, this is this big high that has come down. You can see the isobars. Literally, if we pull this out a little bit here, North American view, you can see where this cold air is coming. And again, if we draw that out, you'll see it's coming right around this low, right from Greenland. That's why I'm calling it a Greenland Express, because that is coming right from Greenland. So it's just some really cold air, but it's pointed more toward New England than toward the mid-Atlantic. All right. But this is pretty incredibly chilly air to deal with. So let's go take a look, and we will go to the eastern U.S. view. We're just talking about the weekend here. So here's that big cold high coming in, and you can see it's racing toward. By tomorrow, it's already off. By tomorrow midday, it's already sitting over the mid-Atlantic. All right. So that's going to mean the winds are going to drop off, and the cold advection will shut off. So tonight through probably before sunrise tomorrow will be the worst of it. And then once we get toward 10 o'clock, it's not going to feel quite as bad, I think. And then the winds go to southwest on Sunday, and we're back into the warmth again. All right, so let's go take a look at our, I guess we can look at the HRRR model. We'll have a couple of models to go through here. We'll first start with the HRRR, the 0Z run of the HRRR, and see if it generates any. It doesn't really generate any, because that high is moving so fast. Eventually, these winds will drop off, and like I said, by morning, we're not going to have to deal with these kind of crazy winds, so it won't feel as bad with that high already. Look at that. HRRR is even quicker, putting the high centered over, so even by morning, it looks like maybe southwest winds, according to this HRRR model. All right, and then you can see it's already off the coast. So let's go take a look at our dew points and wind flow, and that should also back up what we're seeing here. So here we go. Here's your dew points and wind flow, and again, you can see that like hot pink. That's the core of the air mass right there, and you can see northwest winds. Here we are, Saturday morning. Still don't have northwest winds, so northwest winds take a little while to even though the high is moved, we're still dealing with the northwest winds, and we're still going to be dealing with them in the afternoon. But the winds will be much lighter, and then by later in the afternoon, that's when we'll see the winds shift to the southwest, and you see those hot pinks retreat. That's your Arctic air retreating, basically, and then you have southwest winds moving away. So let's go take a look at actual air temperatures. Again, these are dew points, so you can see dew points 20 to 30 below in New England. That's like I said, that's because that's the actual air temperature of where this came from, Greenland. And then we're dealing with dew points in the negative teens. So let's go take a look at our actual air temperatures. You can see the actual air temperature is very cold. So here we are. And by morning, the HRRR really drops us. HRRR wants to make it very cold and bring us close to zero by morning. And if the winds lighten up a little bit, I don't think we'll see any radiational cooling. This is just cold air advection, but we could be around zero by morning just because of the close proximity of that cold air, particularly Long Island, New York City. I think getting close to zero, maybe even a little bit below it, especially if you're north of the city, still possible. Jersey, a little less possible. I think you'll just have single digits. But you'll see by sunrise, we got temperatures in the single digits, and then they warm up rapidly. Here we are already early morning. We're already rising through the single digits into the teens. And then probably by noon, we'll have temperatures in the teens to low 20s over Long Island. New Jersey probably already be in the mid-20s. And it'll just continue to warm up as the day goes on, as you get to the late afternoon. upper 20s possible in Jersey and low 20s. I don't think Long Island makes it past the low 20s because we're closer to that cold air. All right, and then we'll drop again at night. And we'll have lighter winds, so if the winds die down, we could have some radiational cooling and some really cold temperatures. Teens at least, if not single digits, and maybe even below zero in the Pine Barrens if we get the perfect radiational cooling conditions. But then once we get the sun back up on Sunday, the temperatures will rocket. Look at this. We go from bitter cold to near 50 in Jersey and mid to upper 40s on Long Island. The HRRR really pumping up the warmth quite a bit here as we get into Sunday. Look at that. So that's a crazy roller coaster of temperatures. That's all I got to say. So let's go look at a few other models. I will go to the FV3 because we'll have a little more of that FV3 to work with. So now let's go and look at the FV3, and I'll again show you dew points and wind flow. This is the GFS high resolution model, so we'll show you that. And it actually brings the pinks a little more over us in New Jersey, all right? And then tomorrow keeps the pinks over us. So we're still in the Arctic air, northwest winds. It's a little slower to pull it out. Pulls it out a little more toward later, early in the evening. And then winds go southwest, and then it is out on Sunday. All right, that's all we have of that, all right? So let me go look at the actual air temperatures because this looks pretty cold. So GFS is now also agreeing with the HRRR that we could see. I think the Weather Service is being a little too conservative here. I think 0 to 5 above for Long Island and the city. If you're south in Jersey, you're not going to see nearly as cold. But I think like I said, we're on the edge of it, the inner edge of this Greenland Arctic outbreak. And then as we go into your morning for Saturday, you'll see the temperatures again rise. Once the sun comes up, we'll rise through the single digits into the teens. Less wind. It won't feel as bad. It'll still be cold, but it won't feel as bad. Then tomorrow you'll see upper 20s for highs in Jersey. Long Island probably low 20s. So it will rise quite a bit. And then tomorrow night we'll have to see if we get radiation cooling. If those southwest winds, I don't think we see it tomorrow. We'll have to see what happens. And then as far as Sunday goes, GFS not being quite as optimistic as far as the warmth for Sunday. So let's now go and look at the NAM 3. So now we go to the NAM 3. And I'll just keep it on temperatures at this point. So you can see pretty much all agree on the temperatures. I think we have an agreement. We don't have any disagreement with the temperatures. But I think the coldest weather, again, Long Island, northern Jersey, New York City, we'll see the cold as far as the whole metro area goes. We're on the edge of that. But if you're in Jersey, you're missing out on the worst of this. And then as we deal with tomorrow, you'll see Jersey will warm up. Long Island, not quite as much again. So if you want that colder weather, if you're thinking of going to the Pine Barrens tomorrow and you want to just go, you want to be cold, go to Long Island. It will be colder on Long Island. So here we go on Sunday. And again, it's the NAM not moderating as much. All right, so I think we've looked at it. We have pretty much agreement on the models. Now, here is the tricky part, clouds. All right, this is the tricky part for tomorrow. All right, because the models underestimate the cloud cover constantly. So here we are for tomorrow. NAM keeps us mostly sunny, particularly Long Island. It doesn't really show much cloud cover at all. It's Sunday, then we have to deal with more of the cloud cover coming in with that warm advection. But if we go and we look at this, so let's pop this up here. The model sounding. You see that there's a level of an area of moisture between 700 and 500, and actually all the way up to almost 300 that could cause some scattered high to mid-level clouds, perhaps. Again, NAM being a little more conservative with this. This is what it looks like over Jersey. It's even closer. But you can see here, yeah, look at that right there. So you see there's a dry air closer to the surface, but then at that high, because we already had the cold air advection cut off, and that's why we might have to deal with some mid or high level clouds tomorrow, and it won't be completely clear. I kind of like the clouds today better than if we get a lot of those high level clouds, because then you get the contrails. So let's go over to the FV3 model. This is the GFS high resolution model, and again showing not a whole lot of clouds tomorrow. Again, showing fairly clear. But as you get toward the afternoon, you'll see a few more clouds develop. It has it more over Long Island. But let's put this back to 15Z again. I'll show you what I mean. So this is 15Z, which is 10 o'clock in the morning. And you see how close these two lines are once we get above 700 MB, 700 at the 700 height, 700 HPA, I should say. And you'll see here that moisture, again, see these two lines, that's the dew point, that's the temperature, close together. So that means we'll have to watch for cloud formation there. I'm sure it's that way over Jersey too. Yes, it sure is. Even though the models are not showing clouds, especially as we get toward 18Z, which is like 1 o'clock, you'll see those numbers. Yeah, look at that. There should be a cloud there. So I don't know why the models and putting a cloud there when the dew point and the temperatures match. That is a moist. That's a setup that will probably be a cloud at that level. So it's altocumulus type levels for clouds. All right, the altocumulus clouds are pretty nice though. So not the end of the world. So let's go to RGEM. It just won't be the clear day you were expecting again because of the way this air mass is moving. There's no blocking, and the core of it's going over New England. So, it's in and it's out so quickly. It doesn't have enough time to really have that stable dome of cold that you want to have for a nice clear sky. So here we are on the RGEM, and you'll see similar setup with the high mid-level clouds coming in. And RGEM, let's see if this considers it's only got lower. Yeah, RGEM doesn't even let us just differentiate. But again, if we look at the RGEM here, you'll see that, the RGEM doesn't give us that setup right. But you can see here, that's showing some clouds, all right? And then as we get to Sunday, more clouds will come in. So let's now go and look at the Ventu Sky model. We'll go ahead and we'll look at this model here. And this is the Ventu Sky. So this is the HRRR model. And we'll move this over to 6 in the morning. So this is the HRRR model. And we got to move this to, here we go. So look at that, showing 0 degrees across Long Island. So it possibly could get 0 to below 0 across Long Island. Again, look at how much warmer it is in Jersey. It's not by any means warm, but 7 degrees versus 0. That's quite a difference. And again, because we're closer to the colder air, the core of the colder air. Here we are at 8 in the morning. And you see the issue with the northwest. Now, if these winds were right out of the north, we would be going below 0. And we'd also probably have clearer skies, too. But we don't, unfortunately, have that wind flow. But you'll see here we are, 8 a.m., still dealing with low single digits. You get up, it's going to be freezing. At 10 a.m., we're already up to 7 degrees. Teens in New Jersey. Noon, you see, we're still only in the teens on Long Island. Jersey's getting ready to enter the 20s. And here we are, afternoon, it's only showing low 20s in Jersey and only teens for Long Island. So we'll have to see what happens here. But you see that wind shifting to the southwest already. All right. So let's now go look at the clouds on this. This is the HRRR model. All right. And the winds will relax, as you saw there. The winds will calm down as we get toward after sunrise tomorrow. So we can look at the wind speeds here. Wind speeds, already 4 miles an hour. So that's a lot better than what we're dealing with right now. So by 8 o'clock, we're not going to have to deal with these really strong winds anymore, which is good news. Let's go now to the clouds, and you'll see here, has clear over Jersey, maybe some ocean effect clouds on Long Island perhaps. And then you see, by 10 a.m., you can see these warm advection clouds. That's total cloud cover. So let's go look at, these aren't low clouds. The ones out east are. Those are stratocumulus, probably ocean effect. These are mid-level clouds, and I don't even think they're high clouds. Yeah, they're mid-level. So mid-level, think altocumulus, basically. Those are the clouds you'll see tomorrow, all right? And so we will see them, and they will increase as we get to noon. It already kind of has us socked in already. So we'll have to see what happens. Like I said, because of that warm air advection that we have coming in, and it's actually going over most of New England. So you can see this is in and out. It's also a shallow air mass. When we look at the actual temperature, we look at those charts here, which I'll go back to. Tropical tidbits. I think I already took. Yeah, it's right here. So let's go back to tropical tidbits, and we'll go to the HRRR model, which is the highest resolution model. So let's do that. Temperatures, and let's go, and we will click this again for tomorrow. So here we go. We'll do 16, and I'll put it a little more north so you can see. So you see the cold air here, right? You see the temperatures only drop up to the really very short, and then the temperatures hold steady. So you see this, that's an inversion right there, right? You can see the warming aloft, all right? You can see also that there's more moisture aloft above, all right? Usually dew points drop with height, but you can see the dew points actually go up. So that indicates that this air mass is very shallow. It's not a deep cold air mass. It's a shallow cold air mass because it kind of just snuck in because of the way that low basically bombed out right in that spot, was able to pull the cold air from Greenland, but this isn't really a big trough in the jet stream, so the air isn't that deep. That's the best way to explain it. So that's why we may not get the nice blue sky that I was hoping for. We'll have to see what happens. All right, last stop is windy.com, and I'll go ahead and look at this one as well. This is the European model, showing you the temperature again, and we will move this over till 7 a.m. And you can see 7 a.m. The European has us at 4, so not quite as cold as the other model. And again, that northwest wind doesn't really favor us getting in the bit of cold, that below zero temperature or near zero. But again, Long Island, I think, is a better chance of it. New York City is a better chance of it than if you're in Jersey. All right. Whereas you're already at 10 in Toms River as of 8 a.m. All right. And then we move this over to noon. She'll move this over to noon. And you'll see Long Island in the teens and 20s in New Jersey. If we look at clouds, let's see what the European is doing. Not showing a whole lot of clouds here. It seems like it's bringing a little more cloudiness in over New Jersey versus Long Island. But again, we look at the moisture levels aloft. So if we move this over to humidity, go to humidity. All right, obviously dry at the surface. But if we go aloft, you can see here at that height, at 600 height, you can see we have higher humidity levels here at this height. So here we are. We'll move this over to 10. You can see the higher humidity. So this is 600. Let me move this up to 500, 400. All right, 400 is drier. So this is the cirrus levels here, 400, 300 M. Not dealing with that much moisture. But again, it's that 600, that altocumulus level that we're going to be seeing moisture. And you can see, so we will have moisture. Question is, will it be enough to form a cloud? That is hard to say, but again, that's an 85% humidity at 4,200 flight level 140. So that's what it says. So that's again, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see that increase. Right now, we don't have that. We're dry. All right, you can see. But as we get toward 10 a.m., you see that moisture increasing. So that's why I think we'll have some of these altocumulus clouds around, kind of filtering the sun from time to time. It won't be a clear day, unfortunately. This is what all the models are saying. We'll have to see what happens, but it will at least be a lot more comfortable than today. Although it will be cold, we won't have the wind, so that makes a big difference. But anyway, it is dangerous out there. Don't spend too much time out there. Wait, if you want to get enjoy some cold weather, wait until after sunrise tomorrow, because tonight is going to be brutal until those winds die down. So that's going to be it for this weather update. Have a good night and stay warm.